I just thought, you know,
Hey, here we go. City of Chester deliberative meeting for Monday, April 21st, 2025. Let's start off with a roll call. And I'll look and see that we have everyone present. One on phone, that would be Council Lady West. Good afternoon. Let's get right into it. Mr. Solicitor.
Good afternoon, Your Honor, members of council, members of the public. Welcome to the Monday, April 21, 2025 deliberative meeting for the City of Chester. There will be no ordinances. The following resolutions are before council for consideration and final passage. Resolution 55. Authorize the promotion of 4 patrol officers to the position of corporal/detective, Chester Police Department, effective April 28, 2025. Resolution 56. Authorize the final approval for Jeffrey Then and Lisa Morales to consolidate 2 parcels located at 1301 Honan Street and 0 Keystone Road, Chester, PA, into 1 parcel. Resolution 55. Authorize the award of the Summer Food Services Program to Walnut Street Deli in an amount not to exceed $18.50 per unitized meal. Volume of meals will fluctuate week by week. A summer season cost estimate would be $67,839.50 based on last summer's 2024 volume of 3,667 unitized meals.
excuse me, is that 57 or 57?
Pardon me?
That's R 57?
That is R57.
Okay.
Did I not say that? Oh. Jeez, I'm slipping, sorry. R58, authorize the proper city official to prepare the specifications to advertise on Penn Bid for a multi-prime contract for the construction of the Public Works Garage, salt shed, and parking canopy to be funded by the American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA. Resolution 59, authorize the proper city official to submit a grant application to the William Penn Foundation to support lead risk assessments, lead remediation, and air quality initiatives. That would conclude the resolutions.
Thank you, Mr. Solicitor. Any questions, Council?
Yes, on 58, R 58, on a few of the council meetings that we previously had, Mr. Santana from the local 413 had mentioned RCOs, and I wanted to know what that applied. And I wanted to know if that would apply for 50 or 58.
That would not apply, as we have not passed a responsible contractor ordinance.
So when we pass a responsible contract agreement, could that question be asked then, or should it be asked then?
Should what question be asked?
About the responsible, wait a minute, because
Well, I think first we have to have a discussion about it. We haven't. I know it's been brought up a number of times. We're supposed to have a discussion on it.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't discussed it yet, and we haven't put it back on the agenda. I know it was on the agenda twice, and I think there needs to be some further discussion on it before we can get to that point. But am I right, Chief?
Yes, sir, Councilman. There's also a couple things that we're doing with respect to the bid package. This is funded by ARPA dollars, which interestingly enough does not require a federal Davis-Bacon prevailing wage, which is often, a union scale rate. However, we're bidding this out as a prevailing wage job. So the contractors, and there'll be 4 contracts. There'll be a prime, which will be the general contractor. There's an electrical, there's a plumbing, and then there's an HVAC fire protection. That's required under the Pennsylvania Separation Act. So there'll be 4 contracts. All of those will be bid out at a prevailing wage scale. Doesn't mean that it's necessarily a union shop who would be entitled to that, but they have to pay a prevailing wage.
could we all sit and talk about this RFO so that I could have further clarity as of, what takes place?
The RFO?
I mean,
RC.
Yes,
It's
RCO.
the responsible
Track-
contractors ordinance,
Yes.
and that's a different thing from this.
It's a different thing, something to definitely look at some point.
Yeah, I think to Councilman Gibson Williams' point is that before we vote on this, she's asking if we can talk about the responsible contractors ordinance.
Can I just answer that?
I believe, is that your point you're
Yes.
making?
So we are under some pretty strict time deadlines to bid, accept bids, and construct this particular project, or we lose the ARPA dollars. I don't believe that we can certainly immediately meet about the RCO, but I do not believe that you would have time to pass an RCO in advance of this bid.
This is authorizing the advertising to put the advertisement out on Penn Bid. So, I agree with the solicitor. This ARPA funding needs to be spent by December 31st of 2026. The bid package is being finished this week. We're going to look at a 40 to 45 day period of time where the contractors can review the documents. So we're talking about a submittal date by middle of June. By the time you get the contracts and everything out, we're looking at a notice to proceed probably September at the earliest. A 14 to 15 month construction cycle puts us pretty close to December 31st of 2026. So if there's any delays in putting this out for bid, we're going to have a real hard time, I think, coming in under deadline.
I'm not trying to delay anything. I'm just trying to understand what the process is.
We follow all federal, state, local procurement policies. So when you award something, you're awarding a contract when we get to that point to the lowest responsible bidder. So there are certain responsibilities that we evaluate when making a presentation and a recommendation to council as to who we award this contract to. So, and there's stipulations in that agreement with, with bid bonds, with performance bonds, with a whole bunch of items that need to be met by those contractors to develop responsibility. So I feel very comfortable recommending that we move forward with this without delaying it for any responsible contractors ordinance. I think that's a separate issue that needs to be addressed through the committees that you have.
Okay, thank you.
What I would recommend is that if you can facilitate a meeting with council and the receiver, or the receiver's team, because I believe he pulled it twice, so we might need to hear why he pulled it off the agenda, so that way we can understand, or, if there needs to be some negotiation or whatever needs to happen with this ordinance before we pass it. But I think we need to start the conversation with council and the receiver's team, so that way we all have an understanding of the ordinance.
Before what ordinance?
The responsible contractors ordinance?
Oh, well, Mr.
Before we
Santos
put it-
has been instructed to set up a committee meeting.
Well, when did that happen?
When was he instructed?
Yes.
One of the times he came up here. That's what I told him. His next step is to have a committee meeting. So he's well aware of that. We're not delaying anything. Any other questions, comments?
Yes, I have a question about R56. Just get a little clarity on what they're doing there. That's all.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
It's a reverse subdivision, so it's a consolidation of two lots. One is roughly 2,400 square feet, the other is 10,000 square feet. The larger lot is vacant, and it's part of Island Gardens area. It's Honan. Honan actually gets divided by Nolan and Boyle Street. It's an odd lot. The person just wants to combine the lot that they own, which is a twin, with this other lot that they own, this larger vacant lot, to just make a larger area for their kids to play in. And we didn't see any objections from a planning perspective on that lot consolidation.
Okay. Thank you.
Make sense? Okay.
Yeah.
We submitted supporting documents with the resolution. So you'll be able to see our comments and the Collier's comments with the
Yes, ma'am.
submission.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
This process isn't uncommon. If you've got a empty lot next to your house and you wanted to make a bigger yard, just consolidate the two into one tax parcel. Pretty common. Any other questions, comments?
I just like to say, we've done that before, you know, with the parcel, you know, combining the parcels. We've done that with other properties as well.
Right. I want to maybe I don't.
God bless you.
God bless you.
Hey, Chief, on that number 59, we don't mention at all in this resolution the amount. Should we?
Is it, I know that William Penn Foundation has 4 million available, but I don't think we're applying for 4 million.
Right, but there's nothing mentioned at all in this resolution, so do we want to add what we're applying for?
We could. There's no, as I understand it from Dr. Motley, there's no required monetary match from the city. So we should get as much as we can possibly apply for and justify, since there's no local match. But I don't know if she's put a program budget as part of the application. So I mean, we could check with Dr. Motley, see exactly how much we're applying for. And if you feel comfortable, we could put it in the application and in the resolution. But I don't know what that number is.
I guess my question is it safe as it is written now?
I believe so.
Okay. So the question at hand is this William Penn Foundation grant that Dr. Motley is looking to apply, is seeking our approval. The only question was the total grant is for $4 million, but it's going to be Chester, Camden, and Philadelphia applying, so we're not applying for the full $4 million. She's recommending $2.5 million.
Well, could that language be put into?
That's the questions we're
Yes.
asking, yes.
Yeah, it could be put in, sure.
I think it should be.
Is that the instruction?
Yes. Yes.
And if we're successful, we can always come back and put a resolution in front of council that says we're accepting what the actual dollar amount of the contract is as well for the grant.
Or you can put a not to exceed amount.
For that.
Okay. So, see if we got it straight. She's going to submit a proposal for $2.5 million. We don't know what will be awarded, if anything, whether it's awarded at 2.5, 3.5, or 1.5. Once awarded, we'll make the adjustment, or we'll indicate what the award is upon receipt. There we go. So, can you change that? Okay, thank you. Anything else from up here? Pretty plain. Anybody out there? Directors? Pension board? Chiefs?
Mayor,
Floor is yours. Council lady.
what would the passing of this resolution 58 have to do with the responsible bidders? Aren't we just asking that we approve, that we prepare the specifications to advertise?
That's correct. It's just to advertise.
Just to advertise. I don't see what the problem. I asked my colleagues to help me understand.
I don't think that there was the problem. I think Councilwoman Gibson Williams just was asking about the responsible, the RCO ordinance, and she wanted to know if we would be discussing that or passing that before we passed to put out bid for the Public Works garage. But my recommendation is that we have a meeting with the receiver and his team and council, so that way we can understand why he pulled it. I know the mayor alluded that we should have a committee meeting But I think we should be meeting with the receiver first, because if we have a committee meeting, then we put it back on the agenda, then he take it back off the agenda. I think we need to understand why or see what we need to do to get an ordinance like this passed, or what language we need to take out the current ordinance, or whatever we need to do. So my
Now,
recommendation.
you're mentioning ordinance, this is a resolution, and then you're mentioning the responsible contractors ordinance.
The resolution 58, correct, but the Councilwoman Gibson Williams was asking about the ordinance.
Okay, and I understand that. I thought we were going to have a meeting on that to discuss. I don't see the need for a committee meeting when we all could sit down and just talk about it. And I thought the committee meetings were legislative, and that we use those to pass something along to council for a vote. But as far as this resolution 58, just to get authorization to prepare the specifications, to advertise, I don't see why we would have to hold off on that.
I'm not asking for it to be held off on, I'm asking to be able to
That's what
better
I wanna-
explain it so that not only myself, but the public would understand too. And the mayor has said that he asked Mr. Santana to have a committee meeting, and I believe we should have one so that we'll have a clear understanding of what's taking place.
A committee meeting, I mean, I don't see anything wrong with just having a meeting. I don't know why we would have to have a committee meeting, but that's your choice.
Well, Mayor, didn't you say you asked him to schedule a meeting?
But Santana can't schedule a committee meeting. We do that.
Sure, and so after speaking with him, that is something that I would like to do, so that I can get a clear understanding of how this works. And so
Okay, but you're not saying to hold off on.
No, I'm not.
Resolution 58.
No, I'm not.
And the reason I'm concerned is because of the time constraint.
Well, that's been explained, the time constraint has been explained, but I still would like to further understand what it is that Mr. Santana is expressing so that I can understand, and so that when a member of the public asks, what's this all about, I'll be better able to explain.
And I agree with that. I just thought we were incorporating it with Resolution 58 some kind of way.
And what I can do, if council would like, is I could send out the last version of the RCO that was submitted to the city, so you can have some idea of what they're asking.
I'd appreciate that.
I think Councilman Davis sent us that version.
Okay, good.
We got the version, we just haven't sat down to talk about it.
Right.
Okay.
And to understand why it was pulled, so that way we don't keep putting it on and it's been pulled. I think we need to discuss it. There needs to be a meeting held on it as well.
Councilman, I'll meet with the receiver tomorrow afternoon, so I'll mention that.
Thank you.
Get a time together and talk about as to what caused that to be pulled from the last summer's agenda.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? All right, well, meeting adjourned. Thank you.
All right,
We have a
Councilwoman.
meeting now, right?
Okay.